This video will be the top 10 foods that are not advisable to eat after 50 years of age. Good health to you, and we start. The first, processed meats, such as bacon, deli meats, sausages, and hot dogs, can be detrimental to health as we age. Studies have shown that consuming processed meats can increase the risk of developing certain types of cancer, particularly colon cancer, in people over 50. Processed meats contain high levels of sodium, which can contribute to high blood pressure and an increased risk of heart disease. Additionally, many processed meats are high in saturated fat, which can raise cholesterol levels and increase the risk of heart disease. Processed meats also often contain preservatives and chemicals, which may not be safe for consumption in large quantities. To maintain good health as we age, it is best to limit or avoid processed meats altogether and opt for unprocessed or minimally processed meats, such as fresh chicken or turkey breast, or plant-based alternatives. The second, as we become older, eating fried foods like French fries, fried chicken, and fried fish can be bad for our health. Fried food has a lot of calories and saturated fat, which raises the risk of heart disease and can lead to weight gain. Regularly eating fried meals can also result in elevated cholesterol levels, which can further raise the risk of developing heart disease. Furthermore, the high temperatures required to fry food might result in the development of dangerous substances like acrylamide, which could raise the risk of cancer. Additionally, fried foods frequently have high salt content, which raises the risk of high blood pressure and heart disease. To maintain good health as we age, it is best to limit or avoid fried foods and opt for healthier cooking methods such as baking, steaming, or grilling. Eating a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats can provide essential nutrients for the aging body and reduce the risk of chronic diseases. The third, while dairy products like milk, cheese, and yogurt can be healthy sources of calcium and other nutrients, ingesting too much dairy can be harmful to our health as we become older. Lactose is a sugar included in dairy products that some people may be sensitive to. This condition can result in symptoms including gas, diarrhea, and bloating. Increased risk of prostate and ovarian cancer can also result from consuming large amounts of dairy. In addition, many dairy products include a lot of saturated fat, which can raise cholesterol and increase the risk of heart disease. It's crucial to know that certain studies have indicated that ingesting a lot of full-fat dairy products can increase the risk of heart disease. However, other research has indicated that ingesting low-fat dairy products can also raise the chance of developing heart disease. Consuming dairy products in moderation and choosing low or no-fat varieties whenever possible are crucial for maintaining excellent health as we age. Other calcium-rich foods like leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and fortified plant-based milk should also be taken into account. The fourth, eating raw or undercooked meats can be dangerous to health as we age. Raw or undercooked meats can contain harmful bacteria such as Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria, which can cause food poisoning. These types of bacteria can cause symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and fever. In some cases, they can even lead to serious complications such as meningitis, kidney failure, and sepsis. Consuming raw or undercooked meats can also increase the risk of contracting food-borne illnesses such as trichinosis, toxoplasmosis, and E. coli infection. To minimize the risk of food poisoning, it is important to cook meats to the proper temperature. Beef, pork, and lamb should be cooked to an internal temperature of at least 145 degF, while poultry should be cooked to an internal temperature of 165 degF. It is also important to wash hands, utensils, and cutting boards thoroughly after handling raw meats to prevent cross-contamination with other foods. Eating a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins, as well as avoiding processed meats, is beneficial for overall health in older age. The fifth, the stimulant caffeine, which is present in coffee, tea, chocolate, and some drugs, can be harmful to our health as we become older. High caffeine intake might result in anxiety, restlessness, and insomnia. Additionally, it can raise blood pressure, which is risky for people who already have hypertension or other heart issues. Dehydration brought on by caffeine can increase aging symptoms like wrinkles and dry skin. Additionally, caffeine can raise the risk of osteoporosis, which weakens bones and makes patients more prone to fractures. Caffeine intake should be kept to no more than 200 to 300 milligrams per day, or about 2 to 4 cups, to reduce the risk of these adverse effects. It's also critical to monitor how your body responds to caffeine and modify your consumption as necessary. Staying hydrated and maintaining a healthy fluid balance in the body can be achieved by consuming water, herbal tea, and other non-caffeinated beverages. The sixth, when drank in excess, alcohol can be harmful to our health as we age. The chance of getting various cancers, including breast, colon, and liver cancer, can rise with excessive alcohol use. Additionally, liver damage, hypertension, and stroke may result. Alcohol abuse can also have an adverse effect on the brain, impairing memory and cognitive function. Certain drugs can mix with alcohol and become less effective or even hazardous. In addition, excessive alcohol consumption can result in addiction, which can be detrimental to one's quality of life in general. Drinking no more than 1 drink per day for women and 2 drinks per day for men is advised in order to reduce the dangers connected with alcohol use. Between alcoholic drinks, drinking water or other non-alcoholic beverages can also help you keep hydrated and consume less alcohol overall. The 7th, white rice, sugary cereals, pastries, and other refined carbohydrates can all be harmful to our health as we become older. The fast breakdown and absorption of certain kinds of carbs into the bloodstream results in an increase in blood sugar levels. Diabetes, a condition that impairs the body's capacity to use sugar for energy, could become more likely as a result. Refined carbs can also contribute to weight gain and obesity, which can result in heart disease and cancer as well as other health problems. Refined carbs can also lead to inflammation in the body, which can make signs of aging like joint discomfort and wrinkles worse. It is advised to limit consumption and choose whole grain carbohydrates instead, such as whole wheat bread, brown rice, and quinoa, to reduce the hazards related to refined carbohydrates. Maintaining a healthy weight and general well-being can also be facilitated by eating a balanced diet that contains a range of fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and healthy fats. The 8th, high-sodium foods, such as processed meats, canned soups, salted snacks, and fast foods, can have negative effects on health as we age. Consuming too much sodium can increase the risk of high blood pressure, which is a major risk factor for heart disease and stroke. High blood pressure is particularly dangerous for older adults as the heart and blood vessels have been through years of wear and tear. Additionally, high-sodium foods can also contribute to water retention, which can lead to swelling and bloating, particularly in the legs, ankles, and feet. This can make it difficult for older adults to move around and perform daily activities. To minimize the risks associated with high-sodium foods, it's recommended to limit consumption and opt for low-sodium options or make home-cooked meals using fresh ingredients. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 300 milligrams of sodium per day and an ideal limit of no more than 500 milligrams per day for most adults. The 9th, artificial sweeteners, often used as a sugar substitute in diet and low-calorie foods, may have negative effects on health as we age. Some studies have suggested that the long-term use of artificial sweeteners may increase the risk of weight gain and metabolic disorders such as diabetes. Additionally, artificial sweeteners have been linked to an increased risk of gut issues such as inflammation and altered gut microbiome. This can cause problems such as bloating, constipation, and diarrhea, which can be particularly uncomfortable for older adults. Some artificial sweeteners also have been linked to an increased risk of certain types of cancer. The best way to avoid these potential negative effects is to limit or avoid consumption of artificial sweeteners and opt for natural sweeteners such as honey or maple syrup in small amounts, or use fresh fruits to sweeten food and drinks. The 10th, it can be particularly dangerous for elderly persons to consume meals high in mercury. In the body, mercury can build up over time and cause major health issues. Mercury is a dangerous heavy metal. The kidneys, lungs, heart, brain, and immune system can all be harmed by high mercury levels. Mercury primarily comes from fish and shellfish in human diets. The fish with the greatest levels of mercury are tuna, swordfish, and shark. Mercury poisoning, which can result in symptoms like tremors, memory loss, and numbness in the extremities, can be brought on by consuming these fish in high quantities. Although older adults should be careful to restrict their intake of mercury-rich seafood since they are also particularly susceptible to the effects of mercury, pregnant women and children should be especially vigilant. It is advised to eat a variety of fish and to restrict or avoid consumption of mercury-rich seafood in order to reduce exposure.